So, you may or may not be aware that there is a Halo Trilogy remake in the works. I just found out myself, and it is rumors, it's speculation, but it seems to be from pretty reliable sources. It's 343 working on a Halo Trilogy. It's a remake of the Halo Trilogy, the original 3. Not a remaster. Some of you may be wondering what is the difference between a remake and a remaster. If you know the Master Chief Collection, those were remasters of the game. Basically upped fidelity, changed the art style a little bit, made it kind of modern. In CE's case it was bad, in 2's case it was pretty good. The difference there is CE was done by 343, while 2 was worked on by Certain Affinity, if I'm correct. I'll correct myself here if I'm not. The remasters of Halo 1 and 2 are a mixed bag. Bad, then good. So it is kind of worrisome that the same company that did a terrible job at remastering Halo 1 is now going to be remaking Halo 1 through 3 with a new engine. What does make me a little bit happier is that they're doing it on Unreal Engine 5. They're not doing it on the terrible garbage Slipstream engine, whatever it is. It's terrible. It's built by a bunch of programmers who no longer work there, and were only contracted to work there for 6 months? That's a big part of the issues with Halo Infinite, if you know. They hired a lot of contract workers who would take the place of a contract worker whose contract had just ran up. Take a drink every time I say contract, and you will die of alcohol poisoning. So yeah, 343... it's scary to see that they still have the reins on the Halo franchise. What's nice, though, is that management seems to have shifted drastically. Bonnie Ross, I believe her name is, has left the company, which, as much as she likes to say that she saved Halo...
Saying that Ross recalled that her colleagues felt Halo was a waning property and looked at contracting an outside company to produce new games, but she argued differently, as in it should be in-house at Microsoft creating Halo games.
From Gearbox or whatever else. She's the reason Halo 4 exists, and 5, and Infinite, so how much did she really save Halo? She couldn't even bring Halo players back to the game by making it free to play. No. Halo used to sell consoles, you didn't save shit. Personally, I think it would have been better if Halo just took a hiatus until now. I didn't think I would ever say that, but if just Reach was the last one that ever got released, yeah. I'm sure many of you agree with this sentiment. At this point, we've had more time with 343 than we did with Bungie, which is insane to think about. Bungie was pushing out games pretty quickly. Halo 2 even is notoriously unfinished. Even though it is an incredible, amazing game, my favorite game of all time, it's unfinished. It could have been even better than that masterpiece it already is, which is crazy. You can definitely tell there's some holes in the patchwork or whatever you want to call it. You can tell because if you go to Halo 2 and play Legendary, you may know it is an extremely difficult game. It is ridiculously difficult on Legendary. Heroic, the difficulty right below that, relatively easy. That is the game mode I normally play on, Heroic. That's probably what they intended you to play on. Then you switch one level up higher and the game becomes nearly impossible. I say nearly because I have beat it one time with my aunt. Back in the day, we absolutely grinded the shit out of every Halo up to 4 on Legendary. I'm a big fan. And so, yeah, those games are going to be remade by the management that is now, or the management and the devs that are now at 343. I don't know how much the devs have actually switched up. I know it's a good bit, but I know more so it's been the management and the higher-ups, which is, in my disgustingly humble opinion, it's mostly them. The devs kind of have to do what they are told. They have to take orders from their bosses at the end of the day on deadlines, everything like that, how monetization systems work. So a new, fresh batch of higher-ups at 343 is more than welcome. I almost think, honestly, from what I can tell, Phil Spencer seems like a decent guy. He seems cool. But Oh man, is he making some weird decisions? This is a little bit of a side tangent, but why not just put Windows 10 on Xboxes? Not remove the Xbox software, but also add the Windows 10 operating system so that you could switch between them. I guess it's maybe because they don't want to dominate the PC market too heavily, but it's their own market. Maybe somebody can explain that to me. Why not just add the Windows 10 interface to the Xbox consoles, and then you sell it as an Xbox and a PC built in one? I feel like they would win the console war instantly. Maybe there's some prerogative behind selling computers, but I don't understand because Microsoft doesn't own Nvidia or any of those things. So if you could tell me why, I would really appreciate it. Maybe I'll try to make a video about that one day. Xbox's biggest blunder, in my atrociously humble opinion. What do you think? Are you worried? Because it's a new 343 kinda. It's the Ship of Theseus question, you know, how many pieces of wood, or in this case, developers and managers, can you take out before it's a different company? Or maybe you just don't care. Maybe this is the first time you're hearing of the Halo Trilogy remake and you couldn't care less. That's kind of how I felt at first. I'm a little bit sick of remakes and remasters. I'm sure all of you are. When they're done amazing, it's awesome, and especially with like games like Resident Evil 4. I was a huge pussy back in the day, never played horror games. When it came out, now that I'm an adult, I'm 22, I played it, the Resident Evil 4 remake. It's incredible. I really love that game. But when it comes to games that I've played, enjoyed, and there's already like modernized versions of them, like the remasters of Halo and the MCC, it makes it really hard to justify a remake in that case, you know? It's clear that 343 is out of options, they're out of ideas, they don't know what to do, so they're going back to the start. Back to the drawing board, and redoing what worked in the first place. Maybe now, if they remake the games, they can retry Halo 4 and 5. That is a plus. If they can do 1 through 3 well, that's a real big if. But if they can, then maybe this is a blessing in disguise, where Halo 4 and 5 can cease to exist because there will be a new one. That's just me, though. Let me know what you think. Are a big Halo fan? Not a Halo fan? Don't care? Really care? I posted a poll about it, got a few votes. But yeah, that's it.